Today we're going to talk about what completely changed my English learning process, active listening. I'll share a personal story about how I discovered active listening, how it helped me to go from confusion to understanding, and how it became one of my favorite tools for improving my English. So let's get started. Let me take you back to one of the most frustrating moments of my learning journey. I was in class and my English teacher decided to do an activity, a filling gap activity, by listening to a song. Most of my classmates were excited because they'd heard the song before. But me, I wasn't a music girl. I didn't really listen to any songs in any language. The activity consisted of listening to the song and filling in some gaps that the teacher previously had prepared for the class. It was so hard that I even remember that the focus of that class was to identify regular verbs in past simple. And of course, I sat there, the teacher played the audio, and I just couldn't make sense of any of the words and felt completely lost, and I couldn't identify not even one of them. When the class ended, I told myself I can't feel this way ever again. I went home and decided to face my frustration. I looked for the song lyrics and the video. I started listening to the song while following along with the song lyrics. Obviously, it was hard at first, but I kept going. After a while, I went back to the gap filling activity, and guess what? I could do it. That little win gave me the confidence, but I didn't stop there. I started analyzing the song lyrics, looking up new vocabulary, trying to figure out the meaning of some phrases, and I just really broke the song down. It was so helpful that I still remember the song today. The song is Perfect by this band Simple Plan. And if you haven't listened to it, I really recommend you do it. So I still remember the words to Perfect because I didn't just listen to it. I went beyond that and I engaged with the song deeply. After that experience, I became obsessed with this method. I started listening to radio stations in English, and even though I didn't recognize most of the songs they played, I listened to them carefully to understand or to pick up some expressions, phrases, or even just one word so that I could look up the song later on the internet. That way, I found the lyrics, I found the video or the audio, and I could follow the same method that I did with the song Perfect. Little by little, I realized that it was so much better than just listening to music in the background in a passive way. Every song became an opportunity to learn new words, phrases, and even cultural expressions. Looking back, I now understand that what I was doing was called active listening. Instead of letting music wash over me, I was engaging with it, learning with it, and using it as a tool for improving my English. Now let's talk a little bit more about the difference between active listening and passive listening. Passive listening is when you hear something but you don't really pay attention to it. Think of background music while you are doing some household chores, or a podcast playing while you are working on the computer. I mean, it's not bad, but it doesn't require so much effort or focus on your part. Active listening, on the other hand, requires you to be fully present or engaged with what you are listening to. Think of listening with the intention of understanding, analyzing, and learning from it. In the context of learning a language, when you're listening actively, you're looking for patterns in the language, identifying new vocabulary, and even making connections to something that you already know. For example, with a song, listening to it actively requires you to think of the phrases that you can identify and the words and how you can use them in your real context, in your daily life conversations. You need to have clear that both kind of listening have their place. Both are okay. But when your intention is to learn something new, active listening is the approach you need to go for. Now, you might be wondering how you can start practicing active listening. Let me tell you 3 simple ways you can get started. First one is to use lyrics with songs. As simple as picking up a song you like, finding the lyrics, and following along. Try to really understand what the song is about. That's it. The second one is listen with intent. Whether it's a podcast or an interview, a conversation, really make an effort for understanding what you're listening to instead of just hearing the information or having the information in the background. Last but not least, pause and repeat. This strategy helps you to understand a little bit more those parts that weren't so clear for you, and also improve your pronunciation by understanding how native speakers articulate English sounds. These steps will help you turn any listening material, real life listening material that you get into a learning opportunity. Let me dare you to think and analyze how you've been listening to English lately and identify if you're using active listening or passive listening. If it has been mostly passive, I want you to take a moment and try one of the strategies that I suggested here and let me know how it goes. If you're enjoying this content and want to keep learning with me, make sure you hit that subscribe button and see you next time.